By the way, this is all Jay Glazer because Clay has no genetic advantage.
No.
whatsoever.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying, you talk
his
about
sister played in the league in the 70s. Every human being he's ever met has played in the league.
But you know what we do is we help. And he looked at it and he goes, "I want a guy like Clay needs to be pushed.
Sure.
A guy like Clay needs some." It's not for everybody. We've had a ton of guys who come in and they quit in a day. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sign up for a month," and we never see him again. We had one guy who actually signed up for a month and paid for a month, and we never saw him again. So I said, and he's a Pro Bowl linebacker. So I said to him, "Dude, what happened? We never saw you again." And he said, "Well, I wanted to pay. I didn't want you to think I couldn't do it." I said, "But when you didn't show up the next day, we knew you couldn't do it. What the hell sense does that make?" So it's just not. It's not for everybody. But a guy like Clay, who already has the genetics, he already has the makeup. He's already a Pro Bowler. He wanted to take himself to that next level. And again,
he did
with his hands, he went from Pro Bowler to defense, probably the defensive player of the year.
I would concur, and I'm just saying, if he ever does decide to go the Herschel Walker route and get into the octagon,
he's talked to me about it. He's not going to do that.
After
he asked me if he should do it during the lockout, and I said absolutely not.
Well,
no.
Which, by the way, which is you telling a young student that he sucks.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's all different when you get hit in the face.
Sure,
we don't hit these guys at all.
But
they hit us. He actually cracked my left wrist like the last week that we worked with him. He cracked my left wrist. That son of a bitch.
On his head?
No, just doing the hand fighting.
He's going to have to get a haircut if he gets in the octagon because I've seen guys.
You're talking
use
about Clay Guida.
Well, okay, but back in the day, I saw guys. Nothing better if you're a guy who hates a guy with a ponytail.
Grab the back.
Nothing worse than. Nothing more satisfying than seeing it being used as a handle
you know what that
as
was?
You mash a guy's face against his knee.
That was Hoist Gracie and Chemo. He grabbed his little ponytail. That's right.
There's nothing better. Yeah. It's the ultimate slap
In fact,
machine.
next time you're in a bar and you see a guy with a ponytail, just go up and grab it and just start smashing his face.
Yeah. So, is that legal?
It works for Adam.
Is it legal?
Huh?
Is it legal to grab that hair in the octagon? Because I don't see anyone do it anymore, and they used to do it.
Probably not.
Check into that.
Yeah.
I had Jason Mayhem Miller actually.
Oh, he's a beaut. I like him.
He came to my house 2 days ago,
and
we trained. Yes, and
did he steal anything?
Oh yes.
Did he?
My heart, number one. And my shoes.
And your bleaching kit.
I swear to God, the guy shows up. He knew a week in advance. I said, "Come to my house. We'll work on some hands." He said, "All right, I'll come over." And he came over. He knew a week in advance. We set it all up. And then when he showed up, he said, "Hey, can I borrow some shoes?" And he opened a cabinet. And there were about 6-8 pair of boxing shoes there. And he put on a pair of my shoes, barefoot, and he wore them.
You know, I think it's Mayhem Miller. I'm not positive, but I think it's him. Alex Karalexis, who was in the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, says he finally gets enough money, buys a house, I think he bought a house in Vegas. He's renting a house in Vegas because he's training out there at the UFC Training Center. And one day, and he said, "I have no furniture. I had enough to get the house, but I have no furniture." He said, "One day, I come home, the door's unlocked, and I walk in, and the place is like furnished. There's furniture. I go in the bedroom, and there's Mayhem Miller. He's laying on the bed. I was like, 'What are you doing here?' He goes, 'Well, I got good news and bad news for you. Bad news is you got yourself a new roommate. Good news is I furnished the place.'"
Wow.
He broke in and moved in.
He's insane.
He didn't break in and steal shit. He broke in and moved in.
Yeah. I'm just